Dallas is this giant mammoth beast of caution on the one hand and opportunity on the other. We want to believe we'll see this gigantic crash across the entire metro, but that's dangerous thinking because you can end up overpaying if you think something's a bargain. Instead, it's still all about location. Some high demand suburbs are seeing prices shoot up while others are in the middle of undeniable corrections. And then in the middle of all of that, there are two areas right now that are flat out crashing, with prices dropping more than 21% from their peak. As a smart buyer, you can take advantage of that. So let's go ahead and dig in. Let's start out with our first suburb, which is Celina. And we're gonna see there are 4 communities here that are absolutely bottoming out. If you're not sure where you're gonna find Celina, basically if you start at Frisco, you want to head directly north on the Dallas North Tollway past Prosper, and that's where you're gonna find Celina. It's about a 55-minute drive to downtown Dallas, depending a lot there on traffic. Now, what are you gonna find in Celina besides crashing prices? Well, you're talking about a population of 60,323. World Population Review reports that Celina is currently growing at a rate of 16.41% annually, and its population has increased by 238.74% since the most recent census. So why have so many people been moving to Celina? Well, the schools are one reason. The TEA gives Celina ISD a B rating, which is decent. When you look a little closer at the data though, you'll see that 100% of students are scoring above average on greatschools.org. And that's not all, okay? A good portion of the southern end of Celina is located within Prosper ISD, which has an A rating from the TEA and also shows 100% of students scoring above average. But great schools and rapid growth can only carry a market so far. When you mix explosive population gains with a flood of new construction, all right, that's a gamble, especially when buyers are struggling with affordability right now. And this is exactly what's happening in Celina. Inventory has piled up and prices are taking a serious hit. Now, I'm not exaggerating when I say this suburb is absolutely hurting. In July of 2022, the median sales price was $703,000. As of right now, the median sales price is sitting at $550,000. That's a peak to trough decline of 21.7%. If we remove our pre-owned sales and look at just new construction, the picture gets even bleaker. The peak price for new construction is $721,049, which was in July of 2024. As of now, it's declined to $519,995, which is down, okay, you ready for this? 27.9%. All right, so this is serious market crash territory. One thing we do want to keep in mind with Celina is that when we talk about median sales prices, okay, what that means is it takes every home in the entire year that's sold and picks the very middle price. Okay, so that makes sense, right? But you also have to remember, you can't sell what doesn't exist. And I get that that seems like a common sense statement, so let me explain, all right? In October of 2024, sales started in the Legacy Hills subdivision, which is Celina's big aim at improving affordability. The median sales price within Legacy Hills runs around $470,000. So beginning in October of 2024, you suddenly have more affordable choices that just didn't exist before. Your median sales price will go down when there are homes available that are listed for a lower price. So in the case with Celina, okay, this is happening due to home prices dropping. Okay, but we do want to acknowledge that it's also happening due to Legacy Hills bringing in, more affordable new homes. So that is a factor as well. Still, when you look at the stats in Celina's housing market, it is a challenged market. Home inventory is up 71.9%. New listings at this point are up 12.3%. And that's actually a good sign, okay, because that number has been going down since May. Pending sales are down 20.2%, but closed sales are up 20%. Now, homes are sitting on the market for an average of 64 days, which is actually up 28%. And homes are selling at an average of 92% of the list price. Now, your month supply in Celina, okay, you ready for this? 7.5 months supply. Now, just putting that into perspective, in January of 2021, the month supply was 0.6 0.6, as in less than 1, okay? And so now we're sitting at 7.5. So what is going on? Well, we have a housing market that's out of balance. Home builders know Celina is ultimately going to explode in growth, but the growth hasn't hit as fast as they thought it would, and they've overbuilt. Celina is not your typical landlocked suburb, okay? So you do want to know that. According to the city's website, Celina's ultimate growth boundary spans nearly 80 square miles, making it larger than both Frisco and Plano. The site continues, at full build out, Celina's population is projected to reach approximately 378,000 residents. So that's another 317,000 new residents city planners are hoping to add to the city. So picture nearly every home builder in Dallas fairly foaming at the mouth over how high demand will be in Celina and the massive profits they're gonna make. So they all race in, everyone thinking they're gonna benefit from that 0.6 month supply we saw in 2021, and they absolutely saturate the market. Now fast forward to the present, and we have a fleeting pocket in time where Celina's prices are correcting big time. It's not going to be permanent, all right? Celina has too much going for it to not make a robust comeback. But in the here and now, all right, prices are down, and that spells opportunity. In fact, in Celina right now, there are builders accepting prices as low as 79% of list price. On a $500,000 list price, that's like getting the home for $390,000, like literally saving $110,000. So what I want to do, okay, is get that data to you. I want to make sure you know where the opportunity is, but at the same time, I also want to make sure we are looking at true price discounts. Any of you who have watched my videos know I am forever warning about phony price discounts. If a builder overprices his home and then slashes the price, all right, that will look like a big discount, okay, but it won't be. Of course, we're not gonna get taken in by that. So this is what I wanna do. I wanna take note of reduced prices, but what I really wanna see is homes that have sold for one price and new homes that are listed for lower than that price, okay? So in other words, that's what I'm saying, where in Celina can I find homes that sold last month for $500,000 that are now listed for $450,000. Well, I took to the computer, researched 17 new construction communities, and this is what I found. All 17 had massive price reductions. In fact, if you took all these price reductions at face value, I mean, you would think the entire city of Celina is half off. But we know better than that, right? Reduced prices don't tell us a thing about whether a home is priced appropriately or whether it's even still overpriced. Instead, it is closed sales that are going to tell us the difference between when a builder is genuinely slashing their prices or just using price drops as a marketing gimmick. When I use my metric of closed sales compared to current list prices, all right, I found 4 communities whose homes are genuinely listed below market value, okay? So let's talk about those. The first one I found is Cambridge Crossing. Now, Cambridge Crossing is located in the southwest quarter of Celina, straight up Dallas North Tollway. And because of this, it's only a 20-minute drive into the heart of Frisco and all of the entertainment it has to offer. The active builders are currently Perry, Coventry, Highland, and Union, Maine. Out of all of those builders, the median sales price comes in at around $550,000. But let's take a look at how home prices have been changing out at Cambridge Crossing. One of our builders here is listing his homes at $228 a square foot, while his sold homes practically last week just sold for $240 a square foot. Okay, that is a significant decrease. Okay, so to put that into perspective, picture a 2,000 square foot house that listed for $456,000 that just sold last week for $480,000. And remember, that's just the list price before negotiations. And homes have been selling at an average of 92% of their list price. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about Cambridge Crossing so you can decide if it's a good fit for you. All right, personally, okay, aesthetically, their entrance is probably my favorite part, okay? It is beautiful and it's very stately. But the logistical side of things, not bad either, okay? There's no mud here, but there is a PID, which varies depending on phase and lot size. Outside of that, the tax rate is 2.06%, and the HOA fees vary by lot size as well. Like generally, you can expect around $1,600 to $1,700 a year, and most are gonna include front yard maintenance with that. Now let's talk about price ranges. Coventry is going to be your most affordable builder at Cambridge Crossing. Then Union Main is going to be your most expensive, with Perry and Highland falling somewhere in between. So expect to see prices anywhere from the 440s to the 770s. There's a lot of variety on the amenities side too. According to Perry Homes, Cambridge Crossing offers European gardens, serene lakes, playgrounds, pickleball courts, and nature trails throughout. It continues. The Amenity Center has a state-of-the-art fitness center, resort-style pool, cabanas, and meeting spaces. But they're not done yet, okay? They also have a lifestyle director who ensures the residents will have events year-round to enjoy with family and friends and have an opportunity to meet their neighbors. Moving on, the next place I found where prices were listed below what they just sold for is Chalk Hill. This community is on the far north end of Celina, all the way up Preston Road or 289. You can expect a little more of a rural feel to this surrounding area. So you get to enjoy a little bit of a country vibe, but that is gonna mean it's a bit of a longer drive to big spots like Frisco, okay? So you're talking, at least over 30 minutes. Your active builders here are gonna be D.R. Horton and Beazer. The median sold price here is $382,000, and here's how the prices have been changing out at Chalk Hill. One of our builders is listing his homes at $165 a square foot when they had just been selling comparable homes at $180 a square foot. So again, let's put that into perspective, all right? That's like getting a 2,000 square foot home for $330,000 when it just sold last week for $360,000. Now, if you'd like to consider Chalk Hill, okay, a few things you should know. The PID depends on the size of the lot and home, and the property tax rate is 2.06%. Your HOA will run about $900 a year as well. The price ranges here are in the $330s to $515,000 range. Amenities are pretty basic, okay? Think pool, playground, and some nice walking trails. Now on to our third community. I also noticed some exciting deals in Cross Creek Meadows. Cross Creek is located in the southeast quarter of Celina, and it's also within Celina ISD. It's only about 25 minutes from Frisco and a few minutes off Preston Road. The active builders right now are Trophy Signature, Taylor Morrison, and Normandy. The median sales price is $408,000, but let's look at how far those prices have been coming down. One builder is selling homes now for $189 a square foot that sold last week for $191 a square foot. So basically, you're getting a 2,000 square foot house for only $378,000 when the recommended list price is more like $382,000. Now, I realize that's not huge, okay? But you also have to remember, these homes are selling at an average of 92% of list price. And Dallas builders, they are characterized by spiking their prices and then faking price reductions. So it is huge that we are seeing some of them start out at genuinely discounted prices. Is Cross Creek Meadows a good fit for you? Well, the PID is dependent on the lot size and the tax rate is 2.06%. The HOA is another annual payment at $950. Your prices range from the $350s to the $630s here. And on the amenities side, okay, Cross Creek checks a lot of boxes. They offer trails, a pool, community center, picnic spots, a dog park, fire pits, a grilling station, and a playground. The next place where I found great deals was at Legacy Hills. Now, one thing to say for Legacy Hills is that it will have decent highway access. It's off the tollway on the northern end of Celina. Right now though, a lot of it is still undeveloped, okay? We're talking the roads and everything. Now, in terms of builders, there are a ton, all right? We're talking Lennar, Mattamy, Starlight, Del Webb, MI Homes, D.R. Horton, Ashton Woods, Pulte, Beazer, and Union Main. The median sales price of the community is $430,000, And prices are definitely changing though, okay? One builder is listing homes at $191 a square foot when they were just closing these same type of homes at $196 a square foot. So using our same analogy here, that's like getting a 2,000 square foot home for $382,000 when the recommended list price is more like $392,000. If you're interested in Legacy Hills, you'll be happy to hear that there's no pit or mud. They do have an MMD, okay, or what we call a municipal management district, which is structured pretty similar to a PID, but the cost is generally lower. The total tax rate with the MMD included is 2.47%, and the HOA, it's not bad at all. It's just $642 annually. The range of prices in Legacy Hills runs between the 430s and the 630s. You should know Legacy Hills is mammoth, okay? It has all those builders I mentioned and then just tons of all these mini communities. It'll ultimately have 6 amenity centers with playscape areas, a 3-mile walking and biking trail, multiple pools, and an on-site golf course. The layout is designed so residents have access to different recreation spots all throughout the community. So we've discussed 4 amazing opportunities in Celina. All right, but let's go ahead and head east now, where we're gonna find our next hard-hit suburb, which is Melissa. You're gonna find it's about an hour drive to downtown Dallas, kind of if not more, depending on traffic. Now, Melissa is quite a bit smaller than Celina, all right? So we're talking about a population of 29,727. World Population Review reports that Melissa is currently growing at a rate of 11.55% annually, and its population has increased by 107.36% since the most recent census. The school district in Melissa is one of the best in the Metroplex. The TEA gives it an A rating, and Great Schools shows that 100% of students are scoring above average. But let's go ahead and talk numbers for just a minute, okay? In April of 2022, the median sales price was $587,000. As of right now, the median sales price is sitting at $453,000. So that's a peak to trough decline of 22.8%. Now, if we remove our pre-owned sales and we just look at new construction, all right, the picture gets honestly hard to wrap your brain around, okay? The peak price for new construction came in August of 2022 at $758,135. Now, as of now, okay, it's declined to $530,780, which is down almost 30%. Now, I do want to point out, okay, that drop from 758, it didn't take, several years to get there. It had literally dropped the very next month down to 590 and then down to 508 by the end of 2022. So the 700s in Melissa, it really was never sustainable. We don't have a trend, like a nice long trend to support that. Still, when you look at the stats for Melissa, okay, we have a suburb with a rough market. Home inventory is up 33%. New listings are up 47%. Pending sales are down 37.7%, but closed sales are up 25%. Homes are sitting on the market for an average of 67 days, which is actually up 6.3%, and homes are selling at an average of 93% of the list price. Now, your month supply in Melissa, okay, what's that? Well, it's 6.2, and that's up 93.8%. Let's go ahead and put that in perspective again, okay? In February of 2021, you ready for this? The month's supply was 0.2. Again, less than 1, okay? And now we're sitting at 6.2. Melissa isn't nearly as big as Celina, but it's similarly decked out with new construction. I checked out 5 communities in Melissa, and when you know it, I found price reductions on nearly every new construction listing. Some of them like reductions well over 9%. Of those 5, one of them spelled opportunity, and that's Meadow Park. You'll find Meadow Park on the east side of Melissa, well east of the Sam Rayburn Highway. Meadow Park is home to 2 active builders, okay? We've got Ashton Woods and Starlight. The median sales price here comes in at $415,000, but the numbers tell a story that is pretty compelling. Today, homes are being listed for $201 a square foot that were just closing, like within the month, at $209 per square foot. The homes they're listing for sale right now, okay, at $402,000 are the same that just sold for $418,000. There's no mud or pit in Meadow Park, and it has a tax rate of 1.939. The HOA runs $975 a year, and on the MLS, current prices range from the 330s up until the 440s. Amenities-wise, you have a nice jogging and biking path. You've got a park, a playground, nothing over the top here, but just a couple things to get out there and enjoy. So right now we have Celina and Melissa officially hitting that housing crash threshold with prices falling over 21% from their peak. But here's the thing, they're not the only cities where buyers can find amazing opportunities. Several other suburbs across the Dallas area are also seeing price drops. It's just that they're more like corrections, a little bit more moderate. I did an exhaustive look at all of them in this next video, which you can check out right here. In the meantime, this is Wendy Pinnell, and I will catch you on the next video.